What do you need help with? What's the struggle? Oh, and you folks missed that class in the previous one. Where are you at now? Well, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Stay there, walk over there, and say come, and she's like following you back.
Oh yeah, so now that means that you're ready for the next level of training. If your dog's just glued to you, you got to go places where there's more stuff. So you got to get out to the parks, and you got to go out to the parking lots, and you got to go where there are other dogs, and there's kids, and there's motorcycles, and everything else, so that she wants to go away from you. If she's stuck right by you, you're done with that level complete. You know, you got to go on to the next level and make it more challenging, and she'll start going away from you, and then you'll be able to practice more. Because, you know, in the low distraction areas, that's not where she's going to run away anyway. Their question was, how do we practice if she doesn't want to go anywhere and just stays with them? But that means that they've got to up their ante a little bit and make training a little bit more difficult for her, so she will go away. Any other questions? How's it going? Tell me about your experiences over the last week. Yeah.
He's lazy, so he doesn't want to pull ever anyway. But then now we're training him to heel on that left side, and they're kind of like jockeying for that position. So they're not being disobedient necessarily, but like they're trying to figure out who gets to be on the inside.
Okay.
Because like he won't go to the right for when we've been working.
And
the other one is just like so used to being there, he won't go over there either. How do you handle
you can walk both dogs on the left. So you can have one dog on the inside, one dog on the outside. I put the dog that pulls more on the inside, and I let the dog that's a little bit softer on the leash be on the outside. And then you can have the leash slightly longer for this dog, and you can have this dog on a nice short leash, about 6 to 8 inches. That way when you're walking, if you know you need to correct this dog and do a lot more, if this second leash is a little bit looser, you can do all your corrections, and that dog will feel it, but the other dog won't. And another thing that you can use to really help the outside dog, if you can't really give a lot of instruction here, if you have a walking stick and you can kind of move the walking stick in front of them while you're walking to show them to respect that boundary, but then you can walk just both dogs on one side, which is ideal because it still gives you a free hand to like answer your phone and do other stuff. But if you always have 2 dogs, that can be difficult. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I would do. Just put the puller on the inside and get the other dog walking on the outside. And whenever they try to switch, nope, move them back around and just keep going. And if you do 3 or 4 successful walks like that, they'll start to fall into that pattern. Okay. Yeah. I walk my 3 dogs. They can all walk on one side. Clark is the pushiest. Jen is the second pushiest, and Lumen is just does whatever the heck Lumen does. And so Clark's always on the inside on that short leash so that I can give the corrections when I need to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I've been keeping him on the inside, but then the other dog just like gets almost even more lazy because then he just kind of keeps falling back.
Dragging. What are we even walking for? Yeah. Keep him on a shorter leash so that he can't fall too far behind, and he'll start feeling leash pressure if he does start to fall behind. And if it is miserable, I mean, get your other dog walking on the right and be like, here, this is what we're doing today. You know, my dogs, they have to be able to walk at any part of the pack, because there are times that I'm walking, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dogs at a time. They've got to be able to fall anywhere in there and be comfortable with that. So it's just a matter of saying, well, this is what we're doing, and you're going to be over here, and every time you go over, I'm just going to move you back over again. Okay. Yeah, just be consistent, and they'll pick up on it. Yeah. Other questions or stories?
Not related to last week. Can you go over again how the prong collar should fit? Because I feel like hers is too loose.
It is. It's soupy.
She's so fluffy.
So pull all that fur down. I want to be able to see the prong. So if the fur is all laying on top of it, you got to pull it all the way down through it so it's up here and take a link out. Okay? You can do that in that back room if you want to, just if you're uncomfortable taking that off of her and not being able to hold on to her.
Oh, okay.
Other questions? Yes, sorry. It's just you blend in with the wall.
So I've been trying to socialize him more by going out versus he's been on 12 acres by himself, and so I'm taking him to town. Yeah. But he still is terrified of it. Like every new thing, he's in my lap. So it's just the consistency. Yeah. Keep doing it, and over time, he'll, like the other day it was trash track, and then
Yep.
crazy.
Get them out there. So every single dog that comes in for board and train, they're all just like that. It's almost like they've never seen anything in their entire lives, and every single thing is difficult. And it takes weeks and weeks and weeks of saying, we're gonna go do this, and you're gonna walk structured, and you're gonna lie down, and you're just gonna observe this until you realize that it's not nearly as big of a deal as you thought it was, and they do get better. But it takes a lot of exposure. So if you're only doing one field trip, once a week or once every.
It's every morning. I mean,
Oh, good.
Once we had that issue, I'm getting up an hour early.
I love it. That's perfect.
Going out.
He needs that. He needs that.
I know he does.
He's got to go see the world. So like my Malinois that I adopted, he was kept in a box for 5 months. So I got him at 6 months. And he hadn't seen anything. Every single thing is brand new to him. So I still take him out every single day. And he's really great now. There's not a lot of things that scare him. But a few days ago, I took him to Coeur d'Alene, and we were down on the beach by the water. And he's playing in the water and stuff like that. And there's a leaf floating on the wave. And he's growling at it and barking at it. And I swear he thinks it's something in the water coming to get him, but he doesn't know what it is. And it's this leaf, and he was terrified of it. And I brought it over to him, and he sniffed it, and he pushed it away like that's not what that was. And he keeps looking for what was over there. And, it's just helping them grow. They're young dogs, and so he's got a lot to see, If he's only seen the garbage truck a couple of times, well, that can still be pretty spooky after that. When he sees,
Great, and then some days I'm like, oh my God, that was a nightmare. So
yeah, that's how we feel in board and train. Exactly the same. Other questions? Oh, yeah.
So we have one spot on our block where there's a chain link fence, and another dog always runs up and barks, and she gets really amped up. And even when she sees that we're coming to that spot,
She's already amped up.
And wants to pull and gets anxious. Is it better to sit there and let her work through that,
Yeah.
or just kind of push through?
Yeah, so I would do the push through first, and I wouldn't necessarily just push through to get past it. I'd keep her in motion, and I'd just keep her back and forth in front of that house. And I know it sounds awful. Maybe tell your neighbors what you're doing so they don't get upset with you, but back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth till she softens, and then take her out. Then the next time you go, maybe back and forth for a while, and then have her down and just be in that environment for a little while and realize that the dog's not that big of a deal, and then leave the environment. And then maybe the next time you come, you can go straight into the down and have her just observe. And you might stay there for 15 minutes till the dog is totally softened, everything is relaxed, and then move her out of the position. And that should help. Other questions? Any questions pertaining to anything that we've gone over this class? Because we've also gone over the corrections for the sit, the down, and the place command as well. We all good? Okay, she's got a sort of question.
Well, it's a sort of question because he seems to forget where place is at the time at home.
Yeah.
And I mean,
How far away are you standing?
well, it depends. I've tried standing far away. I've tried standing close. He only knows it if it's close.
Well, that's normal. Okay. So actually standing very far away and sending your dog to place is pretty advanced. That's a pretty advanced skill. So if he's not doing that, don't feel discouraged.
Doing it some, so I mean, he's starting to get some.
So do it in increments. So we start with right next to him, place, and give him a second, and then show him where you want to go, and then yes him. And then start stepping back just a tiny bit. Place, give him a second, try to figure it out, and then give him a little bit of help, yes him, and start backing it up. And eventually, good. And eventually you'll be able to send, but when you're teaching, all yeses. All yeses for quite a while.
No, I don't get mad at him for it, but I've been trying to get him because, I mean, there's times someone knocks on the front door and he barks.
Yeah.
He goes psycho.
Yeah.
Barking.
Well, that's where that indoor leash comes in handy.
Running for it. And I can't always catch him.
Make that indoor leash longer. Pay your neighbor to come over and ring your doorbell 11 times a day. Make that indoor leash longer and start showing him what you want to do. Set up the scenario.
He's getting better at it.
Good.
I still want to be able to send him to place.
You're going to have to work on that. And all yeses. So the second he gets over there, the thing he loves most in the world gets activated as soon as he touches that bed. Because then he'll be faster. I don't know if you ever saw Clark, my dog, but if I tell him to place, he knows that means his tug is coming out. So it doesn't matter where I am. If I say place, he'll shoot across the room. I've recently been having him go up onto those crates So I'll say crate, and he'll launch all the way over there and down because he knows that's how he gets his tug. So make sure that it's something that he looks forward to. You're not just saying place. He goes clear across the room. You're like, good, now stay there for 2 hours while I watch a movie. It's going to be yeses and whatever he loves. If he loves the ball, do that too. You go tell him the place, and yes, and throw that ball for him so that he has something to really look forward to. Yeah, and then he'll start going there significantly faster because that's the activation zone. It's not when I come over here and beg mom to throw it. If I go touch that bed, she throws it for me. Okay?
Cool. That's a good one. Thank you.
Yeah. Other questions? Well, then you can't ask it.
So it's weird, over the last 2 weeks, my wife stays at home, works at home, so they kind of get a little of the free reign of the house.
Okay.
But over the last 2 weeks, she's been very energetic, like started like digging on the rug, and they've gone out and dug in the yard where they haven't for the past year.
What's changed?
I don't know.
And anything in the house changed? So you get new neighbors.
We did get new neighbors.
You got kids going back to school. Anything like that? Nothing changing.
New neighbors.
Okay. How long ago was that?
3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Okay. It's a stress response. So more exercise, more structure. Got to go back to that leash in the house. More place command. More engaging activities like tug and ball and stuff like that to work through that, because the smallest changes can throw your dogs off. So it usually results in either destructive behavior or potty training accidents inside the house. Those are usually stress responses. And they're so sensitive to routine, just like kids are, that the second the smallest thing changes, it throws them totally off. So it should take a couple of weeks, but definitely significantly more exercise, more training, more structure, keeping the leashes on in the house, and then supervise in the backyard until they're better. Okay?
How long would it take to train them to start doing a treadmill?
Oh, it's not super difficult. Yeah. It's just going to depend. So if they're good with leash pressure, then that's fine. Start it out super slow. I usually have the treadmill moving. I just put it on the lowest setting and it's moving, and I leash pressure them on up, and then I use leash pressure to keep them going, and every time they're moving with it, my leash is loose. If they're pulling back, I pull forward, and I let pressure off each time. I would start it on just like a simple slip lead or their flat buckle collar, not on the prong. And then when they're good at it, you can go back to the prong, just in case they were ever to fall off of it or get tangled up. The prong can't choke them like another collar can, so things to consider. But shouldn't be too difficult. Take your time. You can use food on it too. If you want to start using it as a place bed to get them comfortable jumping on and off of it, you can do that before you even turn it on. And there's always a little bit of panic once they are on it and it's moving, but once you get past that little bit of panic, they usually get it okay. Okay? Other questions?